Oh, and moving on, U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has said that all NATO members need to be spending 2% of their gross domestic product on defense by the next NATO summit set for June. In a press conference at the White House, Waltz said the United States fully supports NATO allies and the Article 5 commitment, but it's time for the European allies to step up. He pointed out that a third of the NATO countries are still not meeting the 2% minimum spending, a commitment made a decade ago. Waltz further said President Trump has made it clear that the minimum needs to be met.
President Trump's made that clear, and the minimum needs to be met. We need to be at 100% in this June at the NATO summit, and then let's talk about exceeding it, which is what President Trump has been talking about with 5% of GDP. Europe needs to step up for their own defense as a partner, and we can be friends and allies and have those tough conversations.
Meanwhile, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte called on the allies to increase defense spending to 2% of GDP by next summer. At a press conference in Slovakia, he said the allies who lag behind in hitting the defense spending target might get a call from a very nice man in Washington. Well, Rutte did not say explicitly who he was referring to, but said it was critical of all the NATO members to meet the target. He said 23 had already done so from the 32 members.
I tell them, if you do not react to my phone calls, you might get phone calls from a very nice man in Washington who might be less, well, let's say, having less of a time, has more time limit, I guess, on what he wants to achieve. So, if not me, then they might get phone calls from somebody else. We all really have to get to the 2%. That is crucial.
Separately, EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen also said last week the Commission will propose exempting defense from EU limits on government spending amid pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump for Europe to finance its own defense. U.S. President Trump has repeatedly called for the spending threshold to be raised to 5% of GDP, a level no NATO member currently meets.